Hey everyone, I'm Jane Warren Campbell. Many of you will know me as Roshana. I'm going back to my birth name, so I'm in this process of switching, which may be confusing for some, and I'm expanding my work. I'm calling myself now a nature communicator because I'm able to connect and communicate with many aspects of nature. I'm the author of the upcoming revised book, Conversations with a Tree, and I'll hopefully remember to tell you more about that at the end of the video. And today I want to share with you a message from Devona, who is a powerful being who arose out of the water of the Pacific Ocean. So she is a water diva, and I live in the beautiful city of Victoria on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. So I'm living right on the ocean and 20 minutes from an amazing rainforest. I feel so blessed. So today, we're one day into summer. I decided to connect with the ocean, and this beautiful, feminine, powerful being arose out of the water. And one of the things she told me recently, I heard through another message that they were predicting that the Earth may be destroyed, that our magnetosphere may shift to the point where the Earth will become like Mars. And that really troubled me when I heard that. And Devona is saying that it's not going to happen that way, but the Earth is dying. And she went on to say that all life, of course, there is a cycle of life, and we come into creation and we leave creation. And she said that all life lives this cycle, and that it must, otherwise all the energy would be used up in creation until at some point it would have to collapse, because at one time it would be all used up. And this was a very interesting concept for me. I never thought of that before. I'm sure we've all learned in school that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So it's like there is a certain amount of energy. And so that cycle of life allows the energy to also be recycled. So as things die away, it's allowing for the creation of new things to come into the world. So this concept that she shared with me about, of course, everything has its cycle. Otherwise, if we just kept creating and creating and creating, we would at one point use up all the energy, and then everything would have to collapse. And I'm sure that that is not what the creator of all that is wanting. And so it just gives a whole different outlook to this cycle of life and death as we see it. It's really life being transformed into many different ways. So I found that quite fascinating. She also said that the Earth will cycle many times before this happens, but it will not be destroyed by humanity, so to speak. So that was good news. And she said there are already other planets being formed in the likeness of the Earth. So that's also good news, because Gaia is such a beautiful planet. I asked her, when I saw this being, she was wearing a beautiful gown, and the skirt of her gown was like the water being pulled up from the ocean. And so as I was visualizing her in my mind's eye, she was moving and flowing with the waves of the ocean. And so her base was this skirt, and she was just very fluid. And I asked her a message about myself, and in my astrological chart, I don't know a lot about astrology, but with the opportunity of 8 elements, 5 of mine are water. So I have a lot of water in my chart. And she said that because of this, I work really well when I'm flowing with life, which I do most of the time. And when I stop flowing, that's when I really feel challenged by life. And she talked about me coming to a time of great change and a few other personal things that she had for me. And then I asked her if there was a message for everyone that I knew I would be sharing this information with. And she said, be in love. Be in love first with yourself, and love of everything else will follow. So when you're in love first with yourself, and many of us have been taught in our childhood not to love the self, that's selfish, and other guides that I channel have said we really should take the word selfish out of our dictionary, because we're not truly loving we cannot love anyone more than we love ourselves. So if we're not fully loving ourselves, we're not fully loving anyone else. We're looking for them to fill us up. It's not a true, unconditional, pure love. So she says this as well, is the more we love ourselves, the more the love of everything else will follow, because the more we love ourselves, the fuller we feel on the inside. We have more to offer because we're not trying to gain something from others. We're feeling full and complete within ourselves, and so therefore we're loving in the world from a place of completeness, and from that place we have so much more to offer. It's not a conditional love, like I said. It's a pure, generous, caring love. If you cannot love yourself, if you find it difficult, if you have a lot of self-judgment, if you're hard on yourself, she said to go to nature, because nature will always love you. And I know that from my experience with the trees. I've been moved to tears from the love that I've felt from the trees. It's really the same as the love that I feel from the guides. Sometimes when I'm with my guides or working with people through the guides, I move to tears because I feel such pure, unconditional love. And it's the same kind of love I feel from the trees. So when we are feeling that we can't love ourselves, we can go into nature. And I also know from the trees that we feel better. The trees are offering us guidance, offering us wisdom, and we think, oh, we've just worked things through, which we have, but what we don't realize is that the trees are actually downloading into us inspiration, ideas, and also sending us love the whole time we're there. And the more we appreciate and offer love to nature, the more it comes back. When I connect more fully with even a rock, a tree, with the ocean, the water, send that love fully out to nature, I receive it back. I'm such a feeling soul. This is part of what I've come to be, I think, is to share in this way. I feel it so fully. I can guarantee you it's there when we are grateful and appreciating. It's like us. When people appreciate us, we feel more love for them as well. And so I asked if there was anything else that she wanted to share. And she said, do not worry so much. Your worry makes you sick and makes the earth sick. If you are worried, also go into nature to let it go. Remind yourself that worry creates exactly what you're worried about. So we know that everything is energy, and even our thoughts are energy. And so when we're putting thoughts into worry, it's a waste of energy in a sense, because we're thinking about things that haven't actually happened. We're putting potential into something that's a negative instead of putting potential into something that would be positive and beneficial for us. And we're also putting that energy out into the world. So people who are sensitive will pick up that sense of worry, and maybe it's going to impact them, and they think there's something in their own lives that they need to worry about. And mostly, I know from my healing work that I do that worry actually leads to illness in the body. So negative thinking of any kind is going to lead to illness in the body. If we're cycling that energy and keeping it going, then it's going to settle in somewhere. So be very conscious of your thoughts. Be very conscious of turning thoughts of worry into something that's positive and beneficial. Sometimes if you're a sensitive person, you're worrying because you are picking up on the energy of others. And one thing to do, this is from Access Consciousness, they say, who does this belong to? And when I do that, if it's not mine, I instantly feel a shift in my body. So that's one way to also just question if it's really your own, even when you're feeling that sense of worry. But if it is your own and there are things in your life that you're concerned about, trust me, I know that when we can manage our thoughts and stop those thoughts of worry, because it's nothing that's real. It's nothing that's here. We're making it up. If we can turn that around and just say to ourselves, everything's going to be okay. All change leads to something better. Everything is good in my world. Life supports me. Things like that. I'm feeling a release. I do a lot of releasing work. That's something else that I do, and I feel it shifting in my body just from making those statements. So that's a way that you can work through that. Manage your mind, she says, and she said that quite strongly. Do not let it control you. You must find a way to manage the mind. And she ended by saying, love the water with all your heart. Send it love every day. Water is crystalline. It listens, it knows, it hears, and it transforms. Love water, and you are loving yourself. And I know this as well from other work that I've done. I've actually worked with water to hold intention, and it will actually shift and change. When you consume that water, it will shift and change things within you. So every time you see water, whether it's in a drinking glass, a stream, in the ocean, anywhere, just love the water. It's going to hold that intention, and we are going to change the world by doing that. And I've spoken to water before, and even the trees have told me, we can have a glass of water and ask that water to cleanse and purify our blood, and it will do that because it is like a crystal. It holds the intent. And so when we say to water, every glass of water, I love you, we are transforming the water. We are transforming our bodies, because the world is 70% water. Our bodies are 70% water. That's an average. And there is that harmony. And so we are changing ourselves when we change the water. So love the water every opportunity you get, every chance you can see it. And please check out my website, empoweredplanet.ca. I talk more about my conversations with the trees and the services that I offer. And you can also check out roshana.ca, and I'll put a link to both of those below this video. And also, if you'd like to sign up to be notified when Conversations with a Tree becomes available, beautiful, profound messages from the trees in that book. And I also teach you how to make that deep connection yourself, and share a lot of information about what the trees can offer us, new discoveries about the trees, and scientific and health benefits about the trees. So please check out the links below, and I look forward to seeing you again soon with more messages from Jane, Nature Communicator. Love's blessings to you all.